recovery, dethatch. All right, so today we are going to do some power raking, or dethatching as people like to say. I don't have a thatch problem, but if you've been following along with me this year, you know that I got brown patch, and so I had some grass die off from that, and then I cut my lawn way too low. I cut it at 1.75 inches. It's tall fescue. I cut that whenever it was 90 degrees out, and it did not like it, and so we have recovered very nicely, as you can see here, but it still stressed it out and I still lost some grass, and so there's some dead grass and just some junk in here that I want to get out. That is number one reason why I'm doing this. Number two is just because I want to rough up the dirt a little bit to create a better seed bed for overseeding. And so this is step one of fall recovery plan. I don't like to call it renovation. I know people like to call it renovation. So to me, when I hear people say renovation, that means you're basically getting rid of everything and you're starting over. And so I like to call it rehab or maybe recovery, to recover from everything that the summer and the heat brought us. So I'm gonna waste no more time. We're gonna get to the dethatch thing. One thing to note on here is you can raise and lower the deck on this with this lever right here. And so I don't wanna go too aggressive. Like I said, I don't have a huge thatch issue. I just wanna get some of the dead stuff that is laid over on top of the soil, as well as rough up just the very top of the soil to loosen it up to get better seed to soil contact when I put my seed down. And so I'm actually gonna start at the very top. I'm gonna do one pass right here by the sidewalk, see how it does, and then from there we will adjust it down if we need to. All right, so the top setting didn't really do a whole lot. As you can see, it got a little bit of stuff out, but if you look down in here, it didn't really touch the soil too much. It did rip up some stuff, but it didn't really get down to the soil level too much, and that's what I want. I want just a little bit of contact with the soil. All right, so I'm gonna get under here and show you real quick just how this machine works. And so if you see here, it's got these bars that spin, and it's got these little metal teeth, I guess we'll call it, that kind of swing freely, but the force behind the bar spinning is what forces those into the ground and rips up all the thatch or the dead grass and is really aggressive with the soil. And so that first level didn't work too well for me, and so I'm going to move it down one more notch and we're going to do another pass on this same exact spot just to see how it does. Stick with that second notch. The third notch down was just too aggressive. It was pulling out some good grass, and I don't want that. All right, so we went over this twice, got some of the junk out. As you can see, in some spots there is a ton of junk, but then in others there wasn't very much. That's probably where I raked the most out. When I had brown patch in the brown patch video, that's where there's the least. And then along the edges where I didn't do as much raking, that's where there's the most. Right, so I didn't have nearly as much junk in this side because I didn't really get brown patch on this side compared to the other side. So I have not mowed this up yet, but I kind of want to show you what it got out and what it looks like after getting this stuff out. So didn't take too much out, but as you can see, thinned it out just a little bit, but not too much. It's still super thick. Whereas compared to the main stage over here that we did first, I already mowed everything up, but you can see it's a little bit thinner. It's obviously shorter because we haven't cut that yet, so that will be short too, but we're getting there. We are getting there. All right, so we are finished with our dethatching, and that thing is a workout. If you've never used a dethatcher or a power rake, but you've used an aerator, they're very similar. But the good thing about an aerator is that it'll drive itself. It will pull you, which is tough, but the dethatch, you actually have to push it. It doesn't drive itself. And so there are going to be differing opinions on dethatching, when you should do it, how often you should do it, if you even should do it, because people are going to say that thatch is a good thing. And there are pros and cons of having thatch. It can help prevent weeds. It can help insulate the soil to keep it healthier during the summer. But there are pros to dethatching, and the more I research and the more I've talked to people, recently the groundskeeper for the Red Sox, who is a very smart guy, believes in dethatching often during the growing season, not during the peak of summer. And he believes that if you get rid of the thatch, you can get rid of a lot of your disease issues, insect issues, because that's mostly where they hang out. Me personally, if you have Kentucky bluegrass, something that fills in on its own over time, I would definitely recommend dethatching at least once a year, probably. How about that merch? If anybody wants a shirt or a t-shirt, send me an email. It'll be in the description below. They're $25 a piece. I have a very limited supply, because I still think it's hilarious that people would actually want to buy something to wear with my logo on it. So I didn't order very much. If we sell out, I will order more, and I'm gonna try to get different colors of the hats and the shirts. So for now, we just have gray in the hats and then these darker gray colored shirts. I didn't get the lighter gray. I like the darker gray better, so that's what we have. And since I can never do yard work and not get completely filthy, long sleeves are coming. All right, so the only thing left to do is get ready for tomorrow. Aeration day.